about this because this really, really relates to the lesson. But the Apostle Paul says in the Bible, he says, we have to be careful, and I'm paraphrasing the scripture. He says we have to be careful how we talk about one another and treat one another, lest we come to the same things. Now, of course, many of us would say, well, I'm not going to, get so angry at somebody that I'm just going to pick up a weapon and hurt someone. However, maybe that's not what we might succumb to or submit to. But maybe we may submit ourselves to our emotions in other ways. Sadness that leads us to depression. That causes us to say something to hurt somebody. That causes us to get into a relationship that's not good for us. Do you feel what I'm saying? So we don't want to think that we're greater than the people that did this. I hear a lot of conversations such as, why would somebody do such a thing? Or, why didn't you just, go talk about it instead of this and that? We don't know fully what was going on in that person's mind. We have an idea of how the enemy works. That's why we read our Bible. But the reason that I'm saying this is because we have things set up, even in tonight's Bible study, that we want to meditate on to help prevent, not to help prevent, but to prevent coming into being overrun by our emotions. See, you as a human, since we're human beings, we are emotional by nature. There's nothing wrong with being emotional. The problem with being emotional comes into play when all of a sudden you have no control. Whenever you talk about control, you talk about something that has, something that is behind, like let's use a steering wheel for a metaphor. There's someone or something behind the steering wheel that has control of the vehicle. Try to pay attention to me as much as you can. Feel my heart as we speak in this Bible study. Okay? Like I said, it's a small, intimate group. So, we can do these kind of things, especially as it grows larger and harder for us to really focus. But try to focus with the words that I'm saying as much as you possibly can. If it's a matter of not falling into complete control to your emotions, then that means there's something deeper than just your genetic makeup or your hormones. That means that there is an enemy. There is an actual force. There is a specific design. Weapons that are designed against you and I to cause us to come under control of our emotions. In other words, not to have any control. So, but the thing about it is the reason that we are going over the lie that we're going over tonight, that the world often sends to us and we readily receive, is as I was even meditating on the events that took place, the massacre in Virginia, there are people out there that even afterwards don't know why. And I understand, because even there's times when I have to go to God and ask why we suffer the way we suffer at times. Why we have to go through on this earth if God is a good God, the things that we have to go through. But what we must understand is that we have a purpose in life. You're not an accident. And this life and the things that comes in this life are not the things that we worship, but we're designed to worship God. When we place our hope and our trust in the things on this world alone, and then they fail us, that's when trauma sets in. See, trauma is my mind cannot comprehend the actions that happen to me. So it begins to manifest out in the open, in the emotions. You see what I'm saying? I can't take it. Right? Now, there are things that are going to happen in our life that we don't have control over. Events outside of our lives. But if we accept the lie, saying, I can't take it anymore, before they even take place, then we have already surrendered ourselves to the world. Do you see what I'm saying? So that being said, let's go to the lesson here that you have on the paper. Lies that the world tells you. There are many messages that we receive from the world on a daily basis. And I want to just read this paragraph to you as we all read along together, okay? May the words echo in your mind. Just let them really echo in your mind. Many of them are obvious. They're right out in the open. While many others, however, are not. A lie does not always come across to us as such, especially if it is in the form of manipulation One of the reasons we accept certain lies is because we are taught or made to believe that they are true. Lies can be disguised and handed to us in the forms of music, television shows, friendly conversations, etc. When our guard is down, we are more susceptible to believe and trust what is being told to us. In this lesson, let's explore a lie that is not always spoken to us, but often performed in front of our very eyes. A world-renowned musician few decades ago, once said, "I can manipulate the people, my fans, better with my music. I can get my message across better with the music that I play." Now, he had understood that he acknowledged that he had a message that he was trying to get across. But he also understood the power of the craft that he had, the gift that was given to him. You see what I'm saying? So, what happens is, the things that we enjoy have influences on our life. And if we surrender fully to the influence, then we're more ready to accept the message that's coming to that with that thing. You see what I'm saying? So we let our guard down. And then as our guard gets let down, we're more ready to trust the message that is coming across to us. This is why we harp over and over on the things that seem simple, like watch the television shows that you watch, the people that you hang around. Who is in your inner circle? Really, the people that you confide in. You see what I'm saying? And then when you say they're my inner circle, and you say that I'm accountable to you, are you really, be honest to yourself, are you really ready to accept the wisdom that comes from those people when you're not as strong or when you're not doing the things that are righteous? Right? So, we have to understand that the things in this world, and then many of them are good things, that we enjoy now, have an influence on us. And we have to evaluate those influences and how powerful they are to us. Because if all of a sudden they're plucked out of our life, how will we react? Will we react in frustration, in irritation? There's no hope. This is why we live in a world with so many people that are hurting. Because we have been told, we have accepted the lie that was offered that, he who gets the most toys wins. That's another lie we'll talk about in the future. But, so when I accept these things, I want a career so I can make more money, so I can get the things that I desire. That's fine. But the problem is when slowly, bit by bit, that becomes your drive. You see what I'm saying? And then when all of a sudden you get to that point and then it's taken from you, rags to riches and back to rags again, how will you react? Many people don't bounce back when they get something they've always wanted and it is taken from them. They don't bounce back because it was placed in such a high place that they could no longer reach it. It became an icon. Like American Idol. Perhaps there's nothing wrong with having a contest of seeing how well we can sing. But when we idolize a thing, or it becomes iconic,